This is the new, or should I say, heavily revised and facelifted Porsche Cayenne. Actually, wait a minute, it's not 2007, is it? That's actually my old Cayenne Turbo. Go on, get that out of the way. Go on. This is the new, or should I say, heavily facelifted Porsche Cayenne. Because a bit like with the original version, where they seriously upgraded the car and changed the look of it and added some new engines, it's the same with this one. And in this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about this latest version of the Porsche Cayenne. I'm going to talk you around the exterior. That has now gone. Thank goodness. It was awful. The interior, which just is unbecoming in a car such as this. I'm going to see how practical it is. Oh, satisfying. I'm going to try out some of its technology. Tickling about. Clever. I'm going to tell you what's good about it. This is UFC, the car version. What's bad about it? Oh dear. Take it for a drive. They're more a bit like... And of course, launch it to see how quick it is from 0 to 60 miles an hour. Come on, stay strong, Watson. I'm Matt Watson, and you're watching CarWow. Let's start off by talking about the design of the Cayenne. So, as part of the midlife facelift, Porsche have given it a slightly slimmer rear light bar, and in the past the Porsche logo was covered with like a plastic covering. Now it's exposed. You get different exhaust designs depending on the model. Here's a look at some of the other ones. Now in the past, the starting wheel size was 19 inches, now it's 20s and they go up to 22s, and Porsche have made the wheel arches a little bit more pronounced to give the car a sportier look. One thing that I'm really glad they've changed is for the e-hybrid models, you used to have this horrible lime green backing to the logo and lime green brake calipers. That has now gone. Thank goodness. It was awful. Biggest changes at the front though, it is a severe facelift, but in a good way. So you've got a new bonnet with these pronounced creases, completely redesigned front bumper and grille, and more angular headlights, and now all versions get matrix LEDs as standard. I think it looks more aggressive than before and more expensive, but then it is more expensive. You see, the entry-level Cayenne used to start at £56,000. It now starts at just over £70,000. That's some serious inflation right there. This is the hybrid. It starts at around £80,000, and this one, with options, it's £101,000, which is just nuts. There have been some serious updates to the inside of the Cayenne as part of this midlife facelift. So you've got a completely new dash design, which I think looks very good. The word of warning, make sure you select the extended leather, which is over £2,000 extra, because then you get leather on the top of the dash. If not, you get a sort of polyurethane dash, which just is unbecoming in a car such as this. You also get extended leather all the way down here and in the lower parts of the doors as well. Loveliness, and everything feels solid and well made. I also like the fact that you have the door handles like 911. Although they're not the easiest to grab, but they do look cool. You also get the steering wheel from the 911 with a little drive selector there. Nice. In terms of the seating position, well, plenty adjustable. I don't like the fact though that you have a manually movable steering column. There's lots of adjustment, but once again, it feels a little bit cheap having something like that when, like its key competitors, BMW X5 and so on and so forth, you have an electrically operated steering column. In fact, my old Cayenne has an electrically operated steering column. Anyway, back to the new dash design. If you notice down here, the center console is completely different. I like the fact that you have separate climate control buttons and their physical switches, though the seating and stuff, you have like touch sensitive buttons, though a panel that actually moves. Can you see that? It's a bit odd, but it sort of works. Now, in the past, you had the gear selector there. Instead, it's up here, like on the Taycan. Now, I'm not so sure about this location because the steering wheel blocks your view for that. You have to look around like that. Also, I'd much rather have a stalk on the steering column, but I imagine that Porsche don't want to do that because that's sort of a Mercedes thing. Another thing you get from the Taycan, digital dials, which do look quite cool, and there's lots of functionality to them as well, so you can scroll through different views and so on and so forth. However, if I'm honest, I preferred the old layout when you had digital dials and then a proper tachometer in the middle. Anyway, move on to the infotainment system. It's pretty much the same as you get in the 911, so it's relatively easy to use, though some of the icons when you go into the sub-menus can be a bit fiddly, especially when they're over there. Not that, things like that, you see, can be a bit of a faff. The satellite navigation system that you get with this car is pretty blooming good. Woo! It's taking a while to update because the signal's not great here. However, you get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, both of which are wireless as standard. There is one thing that I've noticed that I'm not so keen on though. Have a look along the line of this trim. Can you see how it's all wibbly wobbly, higgledy piggledy, not so goody? Not sure if you noticed this either, look. you can get a screen for the passenger so they can mess around with the infotainment functions and stuff like that, and even watch movies as you drive along. Anyway, let's move on to storage. We've got a little bit under here. You've got your cup holders there, your 12-volt socket there. Don't know if you're ever going to use that. Little area here for storing your keys, and that's your wireless charging pad for your mobile phone and 2 USB-Cs. Can you see? There we go, look. Down here, it's your glove box. It's a decent size. We have decent sized door bins as well, pretty big, look, pretty big. And the inside is lined with felt. You can't see that, but trust me, I'm scratching felt. So it stops things rattling around in there. Let's just check out, yes! Look, like my old Cayenne, you have the double visorage. We like that. We like that a lot, and a decent sized vanity mirror. Nice. It's good in here. There's plenty of room here in the back of the Cayenne, lots of knee room, plenty of foot space. Look, you can really stretch out underneath the seat in front. Headroom is good as well, look, even with this optional panoramic glass roof, which is lovely because it lets so much light into the cabin, and this pane actually opens up as well, which is really, really good. I can also do this though. I can move the seats forwards and backwards to increase boot space if I need to, and you can recline the seat backs as well. Obviously I've got them in the most recline setting. You've got ISOFIX anchor points here, so on the 2 outer seats. Let's try this middle seat, see what it's like for 3 in the back. It's a little bit firmer than the outer seats, but it's doable. Though there is this hump in the floor, can you see that? So you do have to straddle that thing there, but it's not terrible. In terms of practicality, look, we've got some netting here, got very big door bins. If you look here, we have cup holders. Shame they're exposed because you end up putting your arm in them when you're resting there. Though you do have through loading there if you need to carry longer items. In terms of tech, this one has the upgraded rear climate system, so obviously you've got dual zone climate control back here, plus heated and cooled outer seats, which is pretty blooming lovely. There is one thing I want to try though. It's this. Do the back windows go all the way down? Damn, that's not so good. Still, to keep the kids entertained, you do have 2 USB-Cs there, so they can basically just stay on their mobile devices for the entirety of the journey. So maybe they won't even want to put the windows down to look out. However, this car may be a no-go for you if you need to carry more than 3 people in the back. Because if you need a 7-seater, you can't get a 7-seat version of the Cayenne. Instead, you're going to have to look at a BMW X5, and if you want to see my full in-depth video review of that car, click on the pop-out banner appearing in the top right-hand corner of the screen, or follow the QR code which should be appearing on the screen now. The boot capacity of the Porsche Cayenne is pretty impressive, 770 litres of space. However, this is the hybrid version, so it has 620 litres of space because you've got battery motorage shenanigans under there. Oh well, still a decent size, though an Audi Q7 hybrid does have a slightly bigger boot. And if you want to see my full in-depth video review of that car, click on the pop-out banner appearing in the top right-hand corner of the screen, or follow the QR code you're seeing right now. If not though, stay with me, because look, if you have the air suspension on the car, you can raise and lower the boot. Look, press of a button, lower it down to make it easier to lift things in and out. And as you can see here, look, there's no load to lift things over. See what else we've got in the boot. Little hooky area there. Over here we have 12-volt socket in there. You've got some nettage there. Now if you want to carry bigger items, obviously you need to fold down the rear seats. But you can't do it from the boot. You have to come and press the handle on the side here like that. So bear with me. And that is a bit of a shame, and it brings me on to 5 annoying things about the new Porsche Cayenne. If you have the upgraded 14-way adjustable seats like these ones, then you lose the ISOFIX anchor points which you have on the normal entry-level 8-way adjustable seats, which is a bit annoying when you consider that even my first generation Cayenne has ISOFIX on the front passenger seat. As with most plug-in hybrids, while the charge port cover is locked and unlocked when you lock and unlock the car, the actual petrol or fuel cover is kept locked. I think it's a safety thing for like electricity and fuel and sparks and explosions. So to open that, you then have to, almost whacked my head, you then have to press a button on here, which you don't have to do on the normal just internal combustion engine model. The central armrest is a little bit far away. Fortunately, you can slide it forward. Look, then you cover the cup holder. Oh dear. The charging cable bag on this e-hybrid model takes up loads of space in the boot, look at that. Plus, while this load cover has a really handy handle to make it easy to remove, there is no space underneath there to store the load cover, which means, as with many other hybrids, the regen braking causes a strange grinding sound when you're just shuffling along steadily on the brakes. Have a listen. That's not very Porsche, is it?
Thankfully, this car has plenty of cool features to help make up for all this. Here's 5.
There is a special film on the passenger's infotainment screen. So that means that when they're watching movies such as this, look, you can see I'm watching a movie. When the driver looks across, this is what they see. Look. You can't see it, can you?
Can't see it.
Safety first, people. For just under £1,000, you can get an electronically deployable towing hitch. Come on. Oh, steadily, steadily, steadily. Come on. Don't know why I'm doing this. Ah, satisfying. See what's also satisfying? You know how hybrids often can't tow the maximum amount compared to the normal ICE versions? You can with this Porsche Cayenne hybrid. It can tow 3.5 tons, which is the maximum permissible towing weight anyhow. Well done, Porsche. The wireless charging pad has an inbuilt fan which blows your phone to keep it cool so it doesn't overheat when you're charging it wirelessly. Look, can you see that? Tickling about. Clever. You can control the front passenger seat using the driver's seat controls if you toggle a menu in the infotainment system. So look, I'm going to move my controls. My seat won't move, but his seat will. Now you can use that for, you know, if someone big needs to get into the car, you can move the seat back, then move it forward just as you need to. Or you can use it to prank the person in the passenger seat like that. You better hope the airbag doesn't go off. It's not good, is it? That's how you're going to be driving. There we go. Is that all right? You're right. No? God, they're powerful, aren't they? Look at that. Oh, that's really bad. It tapped out. This is UFC, the car version. The car's ventilation system is linked to the satellite navigation. So if you're driving along, you go into a tunnel, the car knows, and it will switch the air from outside to recirculate so you're not breathing in fumes. You can also upgrade for a special particulate filter, which includes an ionizer. You can also analyze the quality of the air inside and outside of the car. What's a bit odd is that it's saying that the outside air quality, when we're surrounded by trees and greenness, isn't as good as the inside, which I'm confused about because I've just farted. There are quite a few choices of Cayenne that you can go for. So let's talk about just the internal combustion engine versions. So there's a 3-litre V6 with this much horsepower. Then there's a 4-litre twin turbo V8 with this much horsepower. Then there's the plug-in hybrids. There's the e-hybrid, which is this car, which is a 3-litre V6 and an electric motor with this much horsepower. Then there's the SE hybrid, which is the same engine but with a different horsepower output with this much power. And finally, there's the turbo hybrid, which has the 4-litre twin turbo V8 and an electric motor for this much horsepower. Ooh, so which one would you go for? Well, I personally would go for the normal S. 4-litre twin turbo V8. However, I wouldn't do that if I was having it as a company car, and here's why. You see, this particular car has pretty much the same horsepower as that internal combustion engine S. It's only 4 horsepower difference. However, the benefit in kind difference is huge. Now, if I have this as a high rate taxpayer, I'm going to pay about £2,500 in company car tax. If I have the normal S and pay company car tax, that's going to be £12,500 to the taxman. And that's why these plug-in hybrids are actually the best sellers, even though there shouldn't be. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's move on. Let's start off driving this Porsche Cayenne in town. The first thing to note is that you're going to want to pay the extra £1,700 for the air suspension. Now, air suspension makes a huge difference to how luxurious this car feels as it goes down the road. Helps the car deal with bumps and potholes, and it gives it this kind of like wafty, pillowy feeling to it, which is impressive considering this e-hybrid is rather heavy, weighs in at 2.4 tons compared to just over 2 tons for the entry-level Cayenne, which doesn't have all the hybrid electric electric gubbins. Now, driving around town in the e-hybrid is actually really relaxing because most of the time it's just going to run on electric only power. In fact, it can go up to 84 miles an hour on electric power alone, which is really quite good. Also, the claimed range on electric only power is 46 miles, though I think that's a bit optimistic. Now, I'm going to check out the turning circle. This vehicle is fitted with a rear wheel steering, but it only turns the rear wheels at 3 degrees. The result is that you get a 12.1 metre turning circle, which is only about 10 centimetres better than the car without the rear wheel steering. By comparison, if you get a Range Rover Sport with rear wheel steering, you get an 11 metre turning circle. Click up there to watch my full in-depth video review of the Range Rover Sport, or follow the QR code. And this is the result. I think I might have made it round there if I'd have been in the Range Rover Sport, but not in this. Now, what I want to do is see the cameras. Come on, show me the cameras. Why haven't you popped up? I'm going to get some help. Am I about to hit this van? Let's go to reverse.
It's very close, to be honest. Very close.
Here we go. Let's see if we can do it. It doesn't like it. It might like it. It likes it.
Yeah, you're good now.
So, the next thing is, can I get it around this bit? This is looking very much less likely. No, this is not going to happen. So, yeah, I think I might have done this in the Range Rover Sport, but not in the Cayenne. Thankfully, I've got the surround view cameras. Unfortunately, they are a cost option, as with the air suspension. Right, okay. Options galore on this thing, but you kind of need them. Overall, the visibility, if you're not using the cameras, is pretty good. This pillar isn't too thick. Back window is a reasonable size. Good sized door mirrors, quite easy to drive slowly in town. The steering does have a bit of weight to it though, for that kind of reassuring, sporty, Porsche feeling. What's less Porsche feeling is the brakes. Now, because this is the e-hybrid, the first part of your braking is regen, and it just feels a bit squidgy, spongy compared to if you have the normal Cayenne without regen braking. Then you get the more kind of solid, trustworthy feeling of standard Porsche brakes. You know, they're no worse than the equivalent like hybrid version from Mercedes or BMW. It's just not quite as nice or as natural feeling as the standard brakes you get on the non-hybrid versions of the Cayenne. FYI. Now, I'm doing all this driving in town in electric only mode, but if I prod the accelerator, it will engage the engine. It's very smooth, look. No jolting, no jerking, just a slight pickup in performance. And look, it's turned off again. Very, very good system. Just adds to the relaxation that you can get from this car. Surprising, isn't it? Being in a Porsche that's relaxing. They're more a bit like... Now, you're probably noticing that as I'm driving along, the economy figure is going up. So initially it was 28.4 miles to the gallon, which is pretty poor, considering Porsche claims this car is supposed to do 188 miles to the gallon. However, the reason we got that figure, that 28.4, was because we've been running the car with the hybrid mode in hold. So essentially it's just been running constantly using the engine, not using any battery or electricity, just to keep the charge in the battery. Now, the reason I've done that is because I wanted to see exactly what economy you get out of this 3-litre V6 if you're just driving it over a longer distance, because if you're doing lots and lots of miles, you'll rinse through your battery and then you just got a V6 petrol plus a load of extra weight from all the battery stuff that you're having to carry around. And interestingly, when you're cruising on the motorway, just in the power of the engine, no electricity being used, 28.4 mpg, whereas I actually borrowed the 4-litre V8 petrol-only version, the KNS, on a cruise, I got 30 miles to the gallon. So the reality is that if you're going a long distance and you're cruising, the normal V8 will be more efficient than this e-hybrid. So you really only benefit from the hybrid system when you're charging it regularly and you're doing shorter journeys, because look, it's going up, because at the moment I'm driving around just using the battery. That's where it works. Oh, and of course the old company car tax saving. Anyhow, let's just check the hybrid system. What am I in? Just in, let's go into, come on, where are you? Wait. Yeah, hybrid auto. So here's part of the benefit of the hybrid system, is that you get an instant response when you put your foot down, because electric motors equal instant torque. So here we are, 40 miles an hour, I want to overtake someone, the engine is not even engaged, I'm just going to do it. Watch it, it's 3, 2, 1, floor it. That was pretty quick, that was. Straight up to the actual national speed limit. Sounded pretty fruity as well. Oh, sounds good, I like that. I'm getting a little bit of road noise, hardly any wind noise, but those tyres, yeah, a bit of... But you know, you don't have to raise your voice at all to talk in here, and it's comfy. relaxing over the long distance. Now this Cayenne e-hybrid may well be the most sensible Porsche you can get, but it's still a Porsche, so let's see how it handles. Gonna put it into Sport Plus mode. That's sharpened everything up and stiffened the suspension. Oop, yeah, feels stiffer. Oh, it grips well. Oh, and it responds extremely well. Oh my gosh, the traction out of that corner there was really impressive. Wow. Considering it's a big old lump, it goes around corners extremely well. The suspension is a bit too firm in this setting though, so I'm going to stay in sport but go for normal suspension. That's a good balance. Now once again, this hybrid's weight is going against it because an extra 400 kilos over the non-hybrid does affect the handling, makes it more cumbersome. But still, as hybrid SUVs go, they don't really handle much better than this. And overall, if you have the normal Cayenne, it's really right there at the very top of the best handling SUVs you can buy. So all things considered, this goes down the road just like you expect a Porsche to. Well, a big, heavy, hybrid SUV Porsche, but you know what I mean. The Porsche Cayenne e-hybrid is supposed to do 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds. But what's the reality? Well, I'm going to use my specialist timing gear up here to find out. First though, I'm going to see how quick it is from 0 to 60 in electric only mode. So what I've got to do is accelerate, but not let that blue bar go all the way to there, otherwise the engine will kick in. So wish me luck, here we go. Go on, blue bar, as far as you can go. Without engaging the engine, that's it, hold it there, come on! Stay strong, Watson, balance your foot. Come on. Woo, 0 to 60 in electric only mode, 13.97 seconds. That's not bad for a big heavy car, is it? Now let's try it in full sporty mode. So let's go into Sport Plus, left foot on the brake, press boost button, noise control activated. Oh, that hooked up so well. Ah, it's quicker. 4.58. So pretty much bang on what Porsche said. It's funny, isn't it? It's like pretty much a third of the time to 60 miles an hour when you have the engine working as well. So then what's my final verdict on the facelifted Porsche Cayenne? Should you avoid it, consider it, shortlist it, or just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should shortlist it. It really is very, very good. The only problem is that it's very, very expensive once you've added some options. Hey, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, it really helps us out, and let me know what you think of my verdict on this car in the comments below. If you click on the video windows, you can watch some more videos. Thanks for watching.